at the emergency department, there is a particular type of evaluation that's done before somebody is sent over to McLean, correct?
Correct.
From the Mass General, what is that usually referred to?
It's called the acute psychiatric consultation, APS. No, so the service is acute psychiatric services, and it's an evaluation. So it's a complete evaluation by either a nurse practitioner or a psychiatrist, and they go over things like, why are you coming now? What is your history? Have you ever had problems before? What's your family history? They document how you're presenting. They inquire about symptoms, and that's how they find out what medications you're on, and then based on that, they decide whether you need, there could be several options. They can recommend inpatient treatment, they can recommend partial hospital program, but the patient doesn't have to do either. If they're not, unsafe, they can choose to leave. But most of the time, people take the recommendation and they've presented because they are seeking help.
And unless the patient is deemed unsafe in that involuntary realm, it's their choice.
Correct.
Now, you mentioned that when they come to McLean, that they first come through and have a CEC. What is that?
It's a clinical evaluation center.
What happens at that stage at McLean?
They're seen by a psychiatrist, and there's a nurse as well. They review the history that was obtained at the emergency department, and they inquire about they actually do another evaluation, just like at the APS, basically reviewing all the history, but also asking their own questions. And if they have any concerns, they document them there.
And you said this evaluation is done by a psychiatrist?
Correct.
And when a person comes into McLean, can they come at any hour of the day or night?
Correct.
And when they first make it to the clinical evaluation center, they're always seen by a psychiatrist?
Yes.
Now, once they do this evaluation, gather all the information, do they also do kind of a physical exam to make sure that there's no medical issues to address?
Yes.
And after all the information is gathered, what is done at the evaluation center?
So they basically enter the order. May I have some water, please?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
No worries.
Up there, my fault.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. When a patient is evaluated or seen in the clinical evaluation center, what happens after the evaluation's done?
So they determine the level of checks that the patient should be on once they get to the unit, because there are several units. There are at least 4 inpatient units. They decide what medications the patient is going to be able to get, thank you, until they are seen by a psychiatrist on the unit.
And when you say level of check, what does that mean?
Everybody who is on the unit, there's a mental health worker assigned the task of ensuring that all the patients who are supposed to be on the unit are present and that they're safe. And the lowest level is 15-minute checks. If there's concern about somebody, it goes up to 5-minute checks. And if they're extremely unsafe, it goes to a 1-to-1.
And what does 1-to-1 mean?
There would be a staff person with the patient at all times.
And again, this determination of which unit to be on and what level of security or what level of check is done by the psychiatrist that performs that first evaluation, correct?
Correct.
Now, when a person who comes through the CEC then gets sent to the unit, do they walk to the unit on their own, or how do they get to the unit?
They're escorted to the unit.
And you said there's 4 inpatient psych units, is that what
Correct.
Now, when the person arrives at the unit, what happens?
They're seen by a nurse. and a mental health worker. Their belongings they go through the belongings to ensure that there's nothing unsafe. There's certain things that are not allowed on a psych unit. The nurse reviews their history and takes some vital signs, sees if they need any medication, and then they show them to their room and the unit.
And again, people come through the CEC at all hours of the day and night, correct?
Yes.
So this whole process is pretty seamless and could happen at any point.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned previously that the length of stay or how long a person is on the unit or inpatient varies, right?
Yes.
Is there any sort of minimum that's required when a person comes in for an inpatient stay at McLean?
No.
And if they are voluntarily there, can they leave at any time?
As long as the psychiatrist and the team assesses them and determines that they don't pose an imminent risk to themselves or anybody else.
Now, what if they're there on a Section 12? Is there a time limit or a minimum amount of time they have to be there?
That's right. She wasn't there on Section 12. She was on a voluntary.
We haven't gotten there yet. I'm just asking background questions about the facility.
I'll allow some background questions, but let's kind of move it along.
So Section 12 entails that that the team and the psychiatrist has 3 days to evaluate the patient to determine whether they pose a danger to themselves or others. And if at the end of that time they do determine that the person poses a risk, then they have to apply for commitment, which would mean going in front of a judge who would decide if the patient should remain hospitalized or be discharged.
And if at the end of the 3 days you deem them to be safe, are they allowed to leave?
Yes.
And is there something in the field of psychiatry or in your training and experience in your time at McLean about being discharged against medical advice?
He wasn't discharged AMA.
We'll allow set the really the terms and where we are, so you can go into that.
AMA is not applicable.
If we can approach,
Yeah, I don't think you heard me.
I did hear you.
All right, well then, I'm going to allow that question. There, your rights are saved.
My objection.
Yeah, I've noted it. Go ahead, counsel.
thank you.
I think we tend not to do against medical advice because if we are concerned about somebody's safety, we would not discharge them.
So you have another procedure available to you if you were concerned for somebody's safety?
Yes.
And that's the procedure you described about seeking
In
order for further commitment?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.